Hey, podcast fans, I've got a quick question for you today. Do you tend to drive the struggle bus every year during the holiday season? Are you ready to change that narrative this year? I'm going to be opening up enrollment for our Transformation ReBoot membership during the month of October, and you can hang out after the episode today for all the important details so that you don't miss out on this enrollment period and the opportunity to keep your positive momentum going during this holiday season. Now, today, you're going to get to listen in as I do a one-on-one strategy session with one of my Transformation ReBoot community members. We're going to dive deep into one of their transformation danger zones, and I'm going to deliver a game plan that they can implement to set themselves up for success. Now, let's dive into this coaching session. All right, Cassandra, welcome to your hot seat. What would you like to focus on with our session today?
Definitely nutrition. Yesterday I had to face one of my small goals that I was aiming for that I knew I wasn't going to hit. And so, that was kind of like a point in time where I was like, damn, this is not what I expected. So mentally it was kind of tough, so I had my cousin's shower and, lots of pictures. My family is very on point with, how they dress and take care of themselves and stuff like that. So you're literally sitting at the table, not eating certain foods that are on the table. And then people start talking about nutrition, and it's like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And I'm just kind of like, the fact that I'm not eating what's on the table is the only mental strength I have at this moment. So if you could just shut it, that would be great. And so it was and I knew it was going to be like that because it's always like that. My family's they've always been athletic. My aunts wear 3-inch stilettos to Christmas. Like it's not, no, but they're fly. Like, it's not like they do it and they're like, they don't look good. I mean, they look good, so, it's a definite, I don't know if it's a cultural thing in general because they're, we're Spanish and it's very like, present yourself well, get yourself together, that kind of thing. So yeah. I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't expect it to be as tough as it was. And even though I, tried to plan my day as best I could, I did eat one of the cookies. I did have a piece of the cake, but I really only ate what I wanted. It wasn't like I didn't eat I ate a fraction of the cake. But yeah. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because for all of the denial that I give myself, it's not showing on the scale. So I'm really struggling with the nutrition to be like, I have 3 kids. They eat all different things. My dinner time is basically my keto food, a version for one of my kids, 2 different things for the other 2. I mean, and that's every meal. So so to deny myself at every meal, at every snack, like right now they're eating Cheez-Its and like yogurts, and that sacrifice isn't showing on the scale. And so it's stressing me out, because I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from for sure. And so we got a lot of different things kind of wrapped up in this one. So is the weight are you gaining weight?
On the third, like a week ago, I had lost not much, I don't lose fast. So it was only like a pound-ish, but I was good with that. But I weighed the day of the shower, which was yesterday, and I was up 2 pounds. Okay. So that made it worse. If I was like the same, I would have been like, all right, I can handle this shit. But that really was just like, damn, not only am I going to not have the Bloody Marys, not have the flatbread pizzas, and everything else that was going to be there, I was also going to be up on the scale. So it was hard.
Yeah, a 2-pound gain. I mean, that's like, that could be due to anything. Like really, you gotta get your mind right. Like, okay with, like, I think what might help with you that we've incorporated with other clients is a weight range goal. Because like saying, if I gave myself like, I want to weigh 200 pounds, like if I weighed myself every day for 365 days, the fact that I would weigh exactly 200 pounds might happen like twice, like exactly, like it's very hard to weigh one exact thing on one exact day. So what we might do is look at like a 5 pound range, a 5 to 7 pound range. That's worked really well. So we can say like, all right, here's kind of the range that I've been floating in. And then so for example, for me, I might set a goal of, I've been floating in the 215 to 220 range. So now we're going to level that down to this next 28-day cycle. I want to stay within the 217 to 212 range. And that way, that's a much more realistic way to set a weight loss goal, because it could be soreness, it could be bloating, it could be hormone cycle, like all that stuff could cause that range to swing. So I think that might be a good first step, especially since it's impacting you. Like this is impacting you mentally. You're getting upset by it. So I think that having that range goal versus that specific number goal, that might help a lot. So let's put some thought into that a little bit. I'll kind of think about what might be a good stair step. Like this has worked really, really well for Coach Brooke. Like she was the same way. She beat herself up because she didn't hit this one certain number. But now that we're in this range and we just kind of stair step the range and we're losing in the right direction. And then we have to kind of get over the I set this goal for this thing and then I didn't hit that exact number. For like, if we're trending in the right direction, that's important. You had a major surgery. Like I said, you're a single mom, 3 kids, right, working full time. Like it's not going to look like everybody else's journey. So, right. And then the third thing we really want to focus on is you got to change the language that you're telling yourself about denying yourself these foods. Like if you put a big pile of Cheez-Its and yogurt in front of me right now and be like, that's freaking gross. Like, I don't want to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be like, they get to eat it. Like, you can't have this resentment towards what your kids and what they're eating. Like, and if you're the mom, like that's the thing is like, if you don't want them eating Cheez-Its, don't let them eat Cheez-Its. Like you're the adult, and especially if it pisses you off, like it's like you can, they will eat healthy things, or healthier things if you kind of lay the law down. I know it's hard just for somebody else to say, and I'm not telling you how to parent, but like it's, but even if you don't do that, you got to change the language. Like you don't want to resent your kid. Like your kids are part of the why, not the why not. That's a big thing that we want to switch mentally. Is I had a client at my gym that yelled at me once that she was always late to class. Like I'm talking like she'd miss a quarter of the class every single time. And she had 4 or 5 kids, and she's like, and I was giving her a little bit of grief. I'm like, listen, you missed all the demonstrations. You have no idea what's going on. It's not safe because you don't know what I want you to do. And she's like, wait until you have kids. Adam just started like yelling at me. And I said, listen, I'm going to have kids and they're part of my why, not a part of my why not. Like, I'm not going to use that as a crutch or an excuse to be why I'm not where I'm at. So just changing that conversation of, if, I can always impact the way my kids eat, but the way they eat doesn't impact the way that I eat. And I'm not mad at them for, the choices they're making or whatever. So I think just that will help a lot. Just that mental conversation of, you're fueling yourself a certain way because that's like your choice. And it's not like, you don't have like, I put in so many denial points. It's not like sick days at work. Like I've got so many sick days saved up. I should have this result, so you got to switch the mindset. And if you feel like you're denying yourself all the time with keto, we can change to a different style of eating too. Like that's also something that we can look at. So those are just some general thoughts. What are you thinking just based off of that so far?
My mental speak is definitely something I have to work on. Like I always joke around about it that I need a mantra, but I probably do. But, and I definitely know that that's part of it. I definitely know that it's, I catch myself saying certain things, but, it's not even like, I don't really crave. I like keto because it took away all my insane cravings. Like all of my cravings for like anything, fast food, chips, whatever. I have a couple that are rough, that I'm kind of like hard to get over. But, even the fact that I only ate a piece of that cake yesterday, like the cake was huge. I must have eaten like maybe, 1 inch, like 1 by 1 piece. It was only like a bite.
Yeah.
And I was good, so I know that keto is doing the right by me because I have to, what I found is if I abstain from a particular food that is hard for me, something I used to love to eat, I forget what it tastes like. And then I don't crave it anymore. So I kind of don't want to go away from keto because it helped me get over that like insane craving for pasta or cake or whatever. So I dig that part of it. I don't want to mess with that. And for keto, for the most part, it is satisfying and I'm not like starving. What happens is because I don't have any, like, all of a sudden I'm starving. You know what I mean? Like there's because you don't graze all day and because you don't snack all day, you like eat your meal, you're good to go for a good amount of time, like 3 hours or more. And then all of a sudden it hits you like out of nowhere that you're like starving. So I'm working on that part. Like the kid part is, my kids they still eat food that I give them that is completely okay. You know what I'm saying? So, we have definitely some struggles at the dinner table because if I make pork, they're going to eat it. And if and they're going to eat their carrots and there isn't any type of grain on the table. There's no bread, there's no, whatever. And so I do that, like meal by meal. I have to pick and choose which battle I can handle at that time.
Yeah.
And my littlest one, she doesn't eat any meat. All she eats is fruit and cheese and yogurt. You know what I mean? So they're all different. It's not like, but it's one of those things that at this particular moment, not losing, what I wanted to lose by now. And I have a wedding coming up in September, which is another goal that I'm very concerned about. And it just piles on. It's little bits of information. It's not like one thing that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to feed my kid cheese. It's not really that. It's like all these little snippets of like pictures, you know what I mean? It's just,
I feel you. Well, I think these weight goals are stressing you out. So we definitely have to change. I think that's at the root of this. And so I remember you had set, like, you wanted to weigh a certain thing by this shower.
Right.
And that's like when we set a goal like that, though, especially with weight loss. Like I had a guy that came up to me at my gym. He's like, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 30 days. And I was like, how about we just focus on losing 30 pounds? And because that's just like a random thing. Like there's like 30 and 30. It's the thing. It like flows. And I'm like, so are you going to beat yourself up if you're only down 25 or 20? He's like, you're right. I just need to focus on losing 30 pounds. I said, let's do everything we can. Maybe we hit that goal. Maybe we don't. Let's use that as a driver, but we're not going to beat ourselves up. Like with you, with this goal that you set for this wedding shower, that was just a random number that you picked out. There was no like scientific study behind that. Like this is scientifically researched and I should weigh this. If I do keto for this long, then I should weigh this amount. Like there's nothing, we can't predict like that. So we can't beat ourselves up at that level. But did you have a major surgery and you haven't gained weight coming off of that? And like all that, like we have to factor those things in. So I think heading into September, we got to think, okay, we've got basically 3 28-day cycles. And we say, all right, if we set a weight range goal and we stair step down by a few pounds each, let's say we have like a 5-pound weight range goal and we stair step that down by 3 pounds each cycle, then we're down, 9, 10 pounds before that wedding. And that's good. Like that's a positive result. And so we can't say, well, I want to be down 20 by then. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't, but that's a random number that you just picked in your head. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we say we're at a better weigh-in range every single 28-day cycle, that's positive. And also you haven't been able to add in exercise like you had hoped and things like that. So that's another arrow that we can pull out. That's a new stimulus. I think that'll really help a ton when we're able to.
I got cleared on Thursday.
Yeah. So that's perfect. So these are the good things. Like I want you to, like, part of what I do as a coach is remind people that you're actually doing well, despite your own attempts to get in your own head about what the expectations are. So, so the first, thing I would say is we got to erase the goal, that goal number that you set for yourself. We're going to set goals in a different way. Let's set a weigh in a range goal for the September wedding. I think that's going to be better because we have a much, much better shot at hitting that. And if you want, just email me with kind of the range you've been sitting in for this last 28-day cycle. And then I'll come up with a 3-step range. That way I have a specific range. I think you'll like it. Mentally, it's better. And then I think keep going with keto. And then let's, as we can, we'll just ramp up the exercise a little bit. And that's just, like I said, that's the new stimulus that's going to really make a big difference for you. And you're going to be, at a much healthier state each 28-day cycle. That's the key thing, and that's the key thing to focus on.
Yeah.
Right. I know it's hard because you're driven, like you are a goal driven person.
Yeah.
And I know
I'm deep down inside. I'm pissed off.
I know.
Right.
But let's just focus, this next 28-day cycle, like a focus point that might be good is like, kind of like the win of the day thing, like we've been doing, like what's one positive thing that happened today? I wanted to get some really positive self-talk going, some self-love action happening here. And if you find yourself, this might even be a good rule to have. If you find yourself talking about like denying yourself something, or like, oh, my kids are eating that and it pisses me off or whatever, or someone else is eating that in front of me, then every time that happens during the day, you have to write down a win of the day or a positive thing about yourself, just to kind of, it's like my interview I did with Sarah Centrella, we talked about the tennis match, like that negative shot comes at you, you fire back with something positive and you just hit that ball back in the other direction. So something along those lines, I think might be a good practice just to kind of start working on in this next cycle. And we'll get you dialed in. All right. This is what I'm good at. So that's the advantage too, is you didn't have me for all that goal setting before. Now we're just totally wiping the slate clean, and you're going to be heading in the right direction. All right.
Okay. Yep.
All right. You feel a little bit better? Do you feel like 1.5% better at least?
1.5. Yeah.
Yes. Score.
That's all you got.
Score 1 for Team Adam. All right. Well, email me the weigh in range and we'll get that goal set up. And that way we've got something tangible and we'll feel good about that. I promise. We're going to get you there. All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks for hanging out after the episode. I hope that you enjoyed listening in on this coaching session. Now, our Transformation ReBoot membership enrollment will be opening up again during the month of October. And I want you to take a good hard look at this if you are someone that especially tends to drive that struggle bus during the holiday season. With this membership, you have access to one-on-one monthly strategy sessions, just like what you heard today on this episode. We also have weekly small group chats for a boost of accountability and support. With your membership, you also get access to our private Facebook community, where we're going to do some fun challenges, and we also match you up with an accountability buddy for each 28-day cycle that we go through. And special bonus, you get a fresh monthly mini course developed by me on topics like intermittent fasting, strength training, and how to handle the holiday season. Now, you can do a free 10-day trial anytime in the month of October and try on this membership before you fully commit. And my goal for my members this holiday season is to help them lose weight and not momentum. No more driving that struggle bus during the holidays. Now, you can head on over to millionpoundmission.com to get more program details on the Transformation ReBoot membership and get ready to launch your free 10-day trial inside of the program in October. Thanks for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.